Hello, Kipsters. It's Mr. Dudley here again, and I am going to be reading pages 1 through 6 of the Starry Messenger with you today. I am super excited. This is a new book we just started. This is our first lesson on it. Please follow along as I read with you today. This is titled The Starry Messenger, and it was about Galileo Galilei, and it was written by the author Peter Cease. Says The Starry Messenger, a book depicting the life of a famous scientist, mathematician, astronomer, philosopher, and physicist Galileo Galilei. Written, of course, by Peter Cease. Now I need to zoom in just a little bit so we can actually read it together. So this is a picture of the Ptolemaic system, meaning that the earth stands still. So we're going to learn a little bit about that as we read. Don't get too confused yet. Let me zoom in a little bit more so we can see a little bit better. So it's got a timeline right here for us with a person named Eudoxus, Aristotle, and Ptolemy. And there is a caption underneath that says God fired the earth upon its foundation, not to be moved forever. That is in the book of Psalms in the Bible. And so that is what people initially thought, which we were, like I say, talk about a little bit more as we read. So it says, for hundreds of years, most people thought the earth was the center of the universe, and the sun and the moon and all the other planets revolved around it. They did not doubt or wonder if this was true. They just followed tradition. So for hundreds of years, people thought that the earth was the center of the universe and all the other planets and the sun and everything revolved around the earth. That is what people used to think at this time. That's what they thought for a long time. Nobody questioned it. Nobody said, well, wait, what if something else is the center of the universe? That hadn't happened yet. People just thought the earth was the center of the universe. And so this is called the Copernican system. Again, it's another timeline up here with more scientists and mathematicians. I cannot read that name very well. Let me zoom in a little bit. I think it is Aristarchus, Archimedes, and then we have Copernicus here. So we got the Copernican system right here, and this is Copernicus. So that is who created the Copernican system. Then it says, one man looked at the sky and wondered, what if things are not as everybody believes them to be? Maybe the earth and the other planets move around the sun. He wrote down his observations, but he did not talk about them, and he did not publish them for a long, long time. He knew he could not prove they were true. It would take someone else to do that. So this person, unlike everyone else who thought the earth was the center of the universe, this person thought that maybe the sun was the center of the universe, right? And that's what we think today, and that has been proven today, right? But before then, people had no idea. And so this person that we're about to learn about now questioned what everyone else thought to be true. So it says the earth moves. That's a part of the Copernican system up here, being that the earth moves. So it shows the sun right here, and then the other planets surrounding the sun. Let's go down to this picture. This little caption right here, I'm going to read it. It's going to be a little difficult because it's in a circle, as you can see, but please follow along with me to the best of your ability. Excuse me, guys, my PDF had messed up and it canceled out on me, so give me 1 second as I scroll back to where I was at. Remember the Copernican system up here, and remember I'm reading the circle quotes right here, as we can see. It says, Italy was a quilt of city-states, each with its own laws and government. A common religion, the Catholic faith, was one thing that they all shared, and the church was a powerful influence. So at the beginning, when we were talking about how people thought that the earth was the center of the universe, most of the reason for that is because in the Bible, in that verse that we were reading in Psalms, it said that earth was the center of the universe. And so nobody wanted to challenge that or question that because it was written in the Bible, right? And that's what everyone believed to be true at that time. And so they just didn't question the fact that Earth maybe is not the center of the universe. So we have another picture over here that I'll be able to see a little bit better on the next page and explain a little more. So give me 1 second. It says, in those days, Italy was a country where many great artists, writers, musicians, and scholars lived. So lots of very educated people, successful people lived in Italy in that country. So that there was a lot of culture in that country. So it says Galileo's Italy. There's a kingdom of Naples, the Republic of Venice. It says the city of Milan, the Ottoman Empire. All these various empires brought a lot of culture and a lot of different people together, but they were all believing in the same system at the time, that Earth was the center of the universe. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next page. And again, here's a quote that's sideways. It's going to be a little hard to read, but please follow along the best you can. It says, be not afraid of greatness. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. That was written by William Shakespeare. And so we're going to learn a little bit about what that means and why the author might have put that in the text in just a second. So it says, Galileo Galilei was born on February 15th, 1564. His father was Vincencio Galilei. He was a cloth merchant, which means he sold clothes. He was an accomplished musician and a mathematician. So he had 3 jobs at the same time. That's pretty impressive. And then it says William Shakespeare was also born in 1564. Michelangelo died in that same year. So that's just kind of fun facts about 2 other famous people. One being Shakespeare, who was born in the same year as Galileo Galilei. And then Michelangelo, the famous artist, died that year. So it says, in the city of Pisa, a little boy was born with stars in his eyes. His parents named him Galileo. So we talked about that earlier in our journal prompt. Remember, we're going to learn what that means about Galileo having stars in his eyes when I come back in a second and read pages 7 to 13 with you. We're going to stop right here on page 6. Please go back into your lesson and complete the questions that are after this video. After that, we'll read pages 7 to 13 together. Thank you guys.